We celebrate all holidays together. If you look down my page, I hate to say this, but it's one of the things that I want y'all to look at. Because when she said about me spending money, you'll see the gifts being bought. You'll see the diamond necklaces and chains being bought when she started the league. Since she wanted to fabricate and say, oh, he never wanted me to start the league. You see that.
What suddenly erupted on Instagram Live sent a shockwave ripping through the hip-hop world. Papoose appeared on screen looking exhausted, furious, and emotionally broken. He stared straight into the camera like a man who had been holding in a devastating secret for far too long. There was no promotion, no heads-up, no build-up at all. Just raw, unfiltered emotion spilling out live. Late last night, without any warning whatsoever, he went live. From a very first second, the atmosphere felt heavy. The silence alone was unsettling. It looked like someone whose world had already fallen apart and who had finally reached the point where he needed to explain why. He started speaking calmly, but it was obvious he was barely holding himself together. "I've been silent for too long," he said, his voice trembling but controlled. But the truth can't stay hidden anymore. That one statement instantly shifted everything. What he claimed next left viewers stunned. According to Papoose, once rumors started circulating about a secret relationship between 50 Cent and Remy Ma, doubts slowly began creeping into his mind about something deeply personal and painful, his daughter, Reminisce Mackenzie. For years, he said he never questioned it. He believed she was his child, his blood, his entire world. But as time passed, he alleged that things stopped making sense. Certain details didn't line up. Stories conflicted. Timelines felt wrong. His instincts kept warning him that something wasn't right. He said the doubt consumed him, stealing his sleep and weighing heavily on his mental health until he felt he had no choice but to confront it. Eventually, he claimed he took a step quietly and completely in silence. No media involvement, no public conversation, just a private DNA test carried out quietly and kept hidden from everyone. According to him, what those results revealed completely shattered him. Papoose claimed the test allegedly confirmed that Reminisce Mackenzie was not his biological daughter. He further alleged that the DNA at the heart of all this chaos was a child who never asked to be dragged into adult conflict. That reality struck many viewers and completely shifted the tone of the conversation. This was no longer just entertainment. It felt like a personal collapse playing out in real time for millions, leaving the hip-hop world stunned and desperate to see what would happen next. Fans were instantly split. Some rushed to defend Remy Ma. Others stood firmly behind Papoose. And nearly everyone was asking the same question: how could this possibly happen? One name dominated timelines across the globe: 50 Cent. Many struggled to process how one of hip-hop's most powerful figures could suddenly be pulled into such explosive allegations. The situation felt surreal. Was it carefully orchestrated, or did it spiral completely out of control? Were there more secrets lurking behind closed doors? Or was this yet another celebrity meltdown that had grown far too big to contain? Through all the speculation, one uncomfortable truth remained. A child was allegedly trapped in the middle of adult choices, private mistakes, and long-hidden secrets. Reminisce Mackenzie never asked for this. Innocent and unaware, her name was suddenly tied to one of the most explosive conversations the industry had seen in years. This wasn't just gossip or online chatter. It felt like an emotional shockwave tearing to the foundations of family, trust, and public life. Viewers who watched the live claimed they felt everything: the anger, the disbelief, the heartbreak. Every comment, every repost, every reaction clip reflected the sheer intensity of the moment. When Papoose finally walked off camera, silent but visibly enraged, the world was left reeling from what it had just witnessed. What could become one of the most talked about stories in hip-hop history did not end when the live stream cut off. If anything, the tension only escalated. Within hours, social media erupted. Clips from the Instagram Live spread across every platform as fans, critics, and journalists dissected every single word. Every pause, every emotional tremor. Shock quickly spiraled into debate. Debate then morphed into full-blown obsession. The story transcended celebrity gossip and became a full-blown cultural moment. Inside the hip-hop community, whispers erupted into public arguments. Anyone connected to Papoose, Remy Ma, or 50 Cent suddenly faced intense scrutiny. Behind the scenes, legal speculation began circulating. Allegedly, lawyers were already preparing for a potential courtroom battle that could shake celebrity legal circles to their core. According to sources, Papoose was determined to move forward, not just as a father seeking answers, but as a man convinced he had been deceived for years. The rumored paternity fraud lawsuit was said to include everything: DNA results, timelines, and alleged communications that supporters believe point to deliberate deception. At the same time, fans remained sharply divided. Some defended Remy Ma, questioning the credibility of the claims and warning against rushing to judgment. Others sided with Papoose, empathizing with the emotional devastation of a man who allegedly discovered the child he raised was not biologically his. Social media became a battleground. Hashtags trended worldwide. Debate spilled into podcasts, TikTok breakdowns, live streams, and YouTube videos analyzing the story frame by frame. Yet at the center of all this chaos stood one innocent figure, Reminis Mackenzie. The tragedy of her situation could not be ignored. She had done nothing wrong, yet her identity was suddenly entwined with a global scandal. Every rumor and allegation carried consequences that could impact her life long-term. Papoose allegedly described a moment he confronted the truth as the collapse of his entire world. Years of trust, belief, and family identity shattered by information he had no way of confirming until the DNA test. The rumored legal battle that followed promised even more explosive revelations. Sources hinted that evidence could include more than just test results. Alleged messages, emails, and private conversations were rumored to exist, each capable of shifting the narrative further. The thought of a public trial, where deeply personal details could be exposed, added fuel to an already overwhelming situation. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's name continued to dominate discussions. Fans, analysts, and commentators questioned what he allegedly knew and when. Was he aware of the child? Was the alleged relationship brief or ongoing? Every new allegation triggered another tidal wave of reactions. The story was no longer just about family conflict. It had exploded into a global spectacle that stretched far beyond music and celebrity culture. Papoose's anger reportedly remained intense even after Live ended, with insiders describing him as determined, emotionally raw, and unwilling to let the situation quietly fade away. Allegedly, his confrontation with Remy Ma was heated, packed with accusations of deception and stolen trust. Sources claimed he was ready to reveal every detail if necessary, insisting the truth should not stay hidden, no matter the fallout. Across the internet, timelines were meticulously dissected, old interviews re-examined, and theories pieced together. Bloggers and gossip channels fanned a frenzy, blending legal speculation with emotional breakdowns and human consequences, as the world anxiously awaited the next move. At the core of it all was grief, rage, and disbelief.
I hate to say this, y'all. I hate to say this. But you want to know why she started having so much animosity towards me? Because I ended up finding out the truth, y'all. And I'm not saying this because it's a bad thing, but I'm saying this because, when I say not a bad thing, because I don't judge people who live that lifestyle. But
Mackenzie was allegedly thrust into a spotlight no child should ever face. Her identity, her future, and even her name were being debated and dissected in public spaces she never chose. She was far too young to grasp the full weight of what was unfolding. For Papoose, the heartbreak went beyond alleged deception. It was about losing certainty, having trust violently ripped away, and fearing that a child he loved could be defined by adult actions rather than innocence. What had begun as private pain had erupted into a public spectacle, with consequences that seemed set to stretch far beyond the immediate moment. Weeks passed and the tension didn't fade. If anything, it intensified. The world remained glued, waiting for the next revelation, the next leak, the next legal filing. Each day brought fresh speculation, renewed outrage, and even deeper emotional fallout. The alleged betrayal, the secret DNA test, the looming legal battle, and the innocent child at the center created a storm that no one could ignore. Social media reflected the chaos. Timelines overflowed with reactions ranging from shock and anger to sympathy and fear. This was no longer casual gossip. Allegedly, It had transformed into a full-scale saga of deception, heartbreak, and viral attention capable of permanently altering lives. As the online frenzy continued, the looming possibility of courtroom proceedings added another layer of pressure. Alleged witnesses, lawyers, and insiders were reportedly preparing to reveal information that could reshape careers, reputations, and personal relationships. Papoose's determination to pursue the truth, even under intense public scrutiny, gave every new update the weight of an impending collision. Yet, the tragedy at the story's heart never changed. A young child, unaware of the scale of the controversy, was caught in the middle of a global scandal. Alleged affairs, DNA claims, legal threats, and public outrage swirled around her life, threatening to define her story long before she could even comprehend it. For Papoose, the pain was amplified by a harsh reality. No amount of success, influence, or money could undo what he believed had been stolen from him. The alleged betrayal and the public exposure that followed now dominated his world. Papoose allegedly made several public statements emphasizing that his pain extended far beyond legal arguments. He spoke about broken trust and years of emotional investment undermined, and the specific pain of realizing that someone he loved had concealed a fundamental truth. That raw emotional intensity was mirrored in the public reaction. Millions watched, thousands commented, debates erupted nonstop. The name 50 Cent dominated conversations as fans and analysts questioned whether he was knowingly involved or the situation had simply spiraled from private actions exposed to the world. Every quote attributed to him was scrutinized. Past collaborations were revisited. Old posts were reinterpreted through an entirely new lens. Allegedly, his limited response only fueled further speculation, pushing the story even deeper into viral territory. Through it all, the ongoing situation surrounding Reminisce McKenzie remained a constant undercurrent. At the Storm Center was a child allegedly pulled into a global media spectacle. Her identity was debated publicly, while she lived a life far too young to understand the adult drama raging around her. Each update and alleged leak piled more weight onto a situation already heavy with consequences. As weeks passed, the pressure only intensified. Each day brought new rumors, alleged documents, and deeper scrutiny. The story had evolved from personal heartbreak into a cultural phenomenon, blending legal tension, emotional fallout, and widespread fascination. Papoose's alleged determination to confront betrayal and uncover the truth transformed every update into an event. Every clip went viral. Every discussion grew louder. Even as the looming court case and media coverage intensified, the human cost of the alleged affair, hidden truths, and secret DNA claims remained undeniable. This situation didn't just expose secrets. It changed lives, shattered trust, and left lasting emotional scars no viral moment could fully capture. The innocence of Reminisce McKenzie, the devastation described by Papoose, and the alleged involvement of Remy Ma and 50 Cent combined into a saga that redefined how celebrity scandals were perceived. The relentless cycle of speculation, outrage, and viral content showed no signs of slowing down. Each new development promised even more revelations and deeper emotional impact, keeping the public hooked and unable to look away. The fallout was far from over. Social media burned with disbelief, anger, and sympathy. As millions tried to process the alleged betrayal, DNA claims, and looming legal battles, what began as a personal tragedy had transformed into a global spectacle. Every post, clip, and whisper became part of the story that felt impossible to escape. Reminisce McKenzie remained the innocent figure trapped in the middle, a stark reminder of how adult deception can permanently alter a child's life. The alleged affair, the hidden truths, and the public exposure turned her existence into headlines she never asked for. Papoose's anger and grief were said to be visible even through screens. His relentless pursuit of clarity and justice gave the saga unstoppable momentum. The alleged involvement of 50 Cent intensified the situation further, drawing analysts, fans, and gossip outlets determined to dissect every angle. The demand for answers grew louder, and media coverage escalated. As the legal process approached, pressure mounted. The courtroom was poised to become the stage for the next explosive chapter, where alleged secrets, betrayals, and DNA claims could face public